You know what's funny? I never expected betrayal to sneak up on me, not while I was dodging bullets in the desert, anyway. I figured if anything was going to take me out, it'd be a roadside bomb. Not a woman with soft lips and a harder heart. That's what I told myself the day I found out my wife wasn't just lying, she was running a whole second life behind my back. While I bled in the desert, she was dining in 5-star restaurants, on my dime. What followed wasn't rage. It wasn't violence. It was something colder. Revenge. Precise. Quiet. Unforgettable. Let me tell you exactly how I took back my life, piece by piece, without raising my voice once. Because sometimes, the best revenge isn't what you do to them. It's what you take away. Name's David. For most of my adult life, I wore the uniform. I've been deployed more times than I can count. Seen and done things that don't belong in bedtime stories. Through it all, I kept a photo in my pocket, her photo. My anchor. My reason. Or so I thought. After my last tour, I came home like I always did, duffel on one shoulder, bouquet in hand, big stupid grin plastered across my face. My heart pounded like a teenager's, just to see the woman I thought had waited for me. She welcomed me with open arms, tears and all. Kissed my cheek. Said she missed me. Played the part perfectly. I didn't question it. I didn't want to. I was just so damn happy to be home. But things started to crack at a barbecue a few weeks later, a casual get-together thrown by Mike, a buddy from my new unit. Mike's a good guy, the kind who laughs with his whole chest. We stood there, beers in hand, trading stories, when he said something that turned my world sideways. Hey man, funny thing, your wife tried to meet me online a while back. I stopped mid-sip. What? He chuckled, like it was just some coincidence. Yeah. Chick hit me up on a dating app. Said her name was Sarah. I recognized her from a picture you showed me. Same eyes. Same laugh lines. I forced a laugh, said something dumb about how women love a guy in uniform, then changed the subject. But inside? Something split open. Later that night, I showed Mike a photo of her on my phone. He didn't hesitate, just went pale and said, "That's her." No doubt. I didn't confront her. Not right away. Years in the field teach you not to move without intel. You don't rush a breach, you plan it. That night, while she slept beside me like everything was fine, I fired up my old laptop and made a fake dating profile. Picked some generic photos, wrote a bio she'd bite on. It didn't take long. A few days later, I found her. Different name. Same smile. Same dimple when she laughed. And the bio? Looking for excitement while her boring husband works late. Boring husband. That was me, apparently. Most guys might have lost it right then. But not me. I needed the full picture. I pulled our bank records, scanned credit card statements. Fancy restaurants, hotel bars, clothing stores, all paid for with money I earned getting shot at on the other side of the world. Turns out I wasn't just being cheated on. I was financing it. So I made a plan. And for the first time in months, I smiled. Not the kind of smile you wear when you're headed home. This one was sharper. Like steel. You ever have one of those nights where everything slows down? Where you can see all the moving pieces but you're standing perfectly still? That's how it felt, lying there beside her. The woman I bled for, fast asleep while her lies snaked through our life. But I didn't shout. Didn't accuse. I played it calm. Calculated. She thought she had me fooled. Let her keep thinking that. Next move. I called in a favor. One of the newer guys on base, she'd never met him, was a tech genius. The kind of man who could erase you from the internet or build you a new identity before lunch. We sat down over 2 bitter cups of black coffee in the barracks, and I laid it all out. No filters, no sugarcoating. When I was done, he didn't blink. Just leaned back and asked, "You want her exposed or humiliated?" I thought about it for a moment. Both. He smirked. Then let's make it hurt. We got to work. Built a second fake profile, this time, not just some bait. We crafted a person. A man with hobbies, a playlist, a tragic backstory. Rugged, but soft. Exactly her type. And wouldn't you know it? Within 48 hours, she bit. It started with a wink. Then a message. Then paragraph after paragraph about how hard it is to find real excitement and how her home life feels trapped. Trapped. While I was bleeding in the sand, she was playing damsel in distress from the comfort of our home. I didn't get angry, not anymore. Anger was a fire I couldn't afford to feed. What I felt was colder. Sharper. Purposeful. My friend kept the conversation going. Flirty. Sweet. Tempting. Meanwhile, I kept digging. Turns out she wasn't just browsing for a thrill, she was running a full-time operation. Different apps, different aliases. She wasn't even careful. It was like she wanted to be caught but didn't think I had the brains to do it. Then I found the folder. Buried deep on her laptop, behind spreadsheets and calendar files, was a collection of pictures. Screenshots of messages. Schedules. Receipts. A full archive of her second life. Most of the dinners. Charged to my card. That was the moment the last illusion died. So I started preparing. I moved money, bit by bit. Closed out accounts she had access to. Transferred essentials into new ones under a different name. Stored my keepsakes in a storage unit across town, medals, old letters, photos, even the pocket watch my dad gave me before my first deployment. I left her the couch, the TV, all the things she used to distract herself from reality. She could keep her kingdom. She just wouldn't have a king anymore. Then came the final stroke. We scheduled a date between her and the fake man. My buddy picked a cozy little cafe downtown, the same place she used to beg me to take her back when I was too exhausted from working double shifts to make it happen. She showed up like it was prom night. New dress. Fresh heels. The whole act. I sat across the street in an old pickup, sipping lukewarm coffee. Just watching. She crossed her legs just so, tilted her head the way she always did when she wanted to look irresistible. Every few seconds, she glanced at the door, waiting for someone who'd never arrive. And me? I just took photos. Her checking her phone. Her shifting in her seat. The exact moment her smile cracked and panic set in. Beautiful. While she sat there, stewing in anticipation, I called the bank. Froze our joint accounts. Made sure the mortgage was squared away, but nothing more. She'd have to pay her own way now. When she finally stomped out of that cafe, heels clacking like gunfire, I let her get a block ahead before starting the engine. I didn't follow her. I didn't need to. She was already lost. I got home before she did. Sat on the couch flipping through an old photo album, one she hadn't touched in years. Pictures from better days. Smiles that meant something once. She came through the door like a hurricane, slammed it so hard the windows rattled. Then she saw me. She froze. Like she'd seen a ghost. "You're home early," she said, voice a little too high, a little too casual. "Yeah," I said, turning a page. "Figured I'd surprise you." That was the moment it hit her, not the facts, but the feeling. Guilt. Panic. And somewhere under all that, a spark of anger, like I was the one ruining her night. I let the silence stretch until she squirmed. "How was your day?" I asked lightly, not looking up. She hesitated, then lied. Just errands. Boring stuff. I nodded slowly. Yeah. Boring stuff. Like sitting alone in a cafe waiting for a man who's never going to show up. Her face turned to chalk. I set the album down and stood. Not too close, just enough to look her in the eye. I know, I said, calm as ever. Every app. Every message. Every dollar you blew chasing strangers while I was halfway across the world. She opened her mouth. Maybe to deny. Maybe to twist it. I didn't give her the chance. You spent my money. You drained my trust. You used my loyalty like spare change. Then I reached into my jacket pocket and handed her an envelope. Inside. Photos. Receipts. Screenshots. Proof. Happy anniversary. She stared at it like it was ticking. David, Don't, I said, my voice dropping like a hammer. Save it. I'm not interested. I thought maybe she'd cry. But she didn't. She got angry. Real angry. Fine, she snapped. If you're gonna act like this, maybe I should just leave. I actually laughed. Right there in the living room where we once danced slow to Christmas music. Sweetheart, I said, you left a long time ago. She stormed upstairs. I didn't follow. She could call whoever she wanted. It wouldn't help. Every domino was already in place. The next morning, I was up early, coffee in hand, reading news I didn't care about just to pass the time. She stomped around upstairs, slamming drawers like a teenager denied a night out. Around noon, she opened the fridge, reached for her purse, and the first scream. Music. Her card didn't work. She tried again. Same result. Then came the footsteps. David, she snapped, waving her wallet like a weapon. Why are the cards frozen? I took a slow sip of coffee. Guess you'll have to ask your new boyfriends to pay your bills. She turned red, not the embarrassed kind. The volcanic kind. You can't do this. I have rights. I set my mug down and met her eyes. Calm. Controlled. You had rights. Then you burned them. Right along with our marriage. She started in with the usual script, lawyers, divorce, threats. I didn't flinch. Just walked to the door, grabbed my go-bag, the one I always kept packed, and slung it over my shoulder. I'm giving you the weekend, I said, cool as steel. By Sunday night, I want you gone. You can't kick me out of my house. I smiled. It's my house. Check the deed. Your name's not on it. That little oversight she ignored all those years. Just became her cage. She opened her mouth again, but I raised a finger. 3 days. After that, the locks change. Then I walked out. The next few days went smoother than I expected. She tried everything. Texts. Calls. Fake apologies. Then came the rants, voice messages dripping with venom, as if I was the one who betrayed her. Even showed up at Mike's place, yeah, the same Mike she tried to flirt with online. Said she just needed someone who understood me. Mike laughed her right off his porch. Meanwhile, my tech buddy kept the updates coming. Screenshots, chat logs, new usernames. She was scrambling. Desperate. Trying to revive the same old tricks under different names. But the magic was gone. Word travels fast in a small town. Especially when the woman in question has burned more bridges than she can count. Turns out, when you're exposed as a user and a liar, options dry up real quick. But that wasn't the end. Revenge, real revenge, isn't about rage or wreckage. It's about silence. About letting them feel the weight of what they've done, without you lifting a finger. That weekend, she hosted herself a pity party. Loud sobs on the phone with her sister, playing the part of the wounded wife. Talking about how David just snapped out of nowhere and how she was scared of who he's become. I didn't correct the narrative. Didn't crash her little performance. Truth has a funny way of surfacing when it needs to. Sunday evening rolled around. I got back from the gym, sweaty and sore, and pulled into the driveway. Her car was still there. Lights on. Door unlocked. Suitcases. Nowhere in sight. I walked in slowly. Found her on the couch scrolling through her phone like the clock wasn't ticking. "You're still here," I said. She didn't look up right away. When she did, her expression was smug. "You can't just throw me out," she said, voice calm in that condescending way people use when they think they've figured out the loophole. I smiled. Not the kind that reaches your eyes. The kind that lets someone know they've already lost. "The only illegal thing going on here," I said, "is the identity fraud you committed setting up fake profiles to hustle strangers for money." That hit hard. Her smirk vanished. "You wouldn't dare." I reached into my pocket and laid a folded piece of paper on the table between us. A simple agreement: vacate the house voluntarily by midnight. No cops. No court. No charges. Refuse, and come Monday morning, that file, complete with evidence of financial misconduct, fraud, and unauthorized use of marital assets, goes straight to the sheriff's department. I sat across from her, calm and steady. "You have two choices," I said. "Leave with whatever dignity you've got left, or see how bad things can get." She tried to hold it together. For 10 seconds, maybe. Then the cracks spread. Tears. Snot. The whole dramatic breakdown. "I'm sorry," she sobbed. "I didn't mean to hurt you." I leaned back in my chair. "Funny," I said. "You never said that while you were buying lobster dinners with my money for every guy who told you you looked hot." She cried harder. Said she had nowhere to go. Not my problem. She begged for more time. Just a little longer. "No," I said. "You used up all your time." Then I left her there. Curled on the couch. A mess of crocodile tears and consequences. By 11:45 p.m., she was dragging suitcases out to her car. I stood on the porch, arms crossed, watching. She paused at the door, face lit orange under the porch light. "I loved you, David," she whispered. I didn't blink. "You loved what I gave you," I said. "You never loved me." She drove off without another word. And the house? It was mine again. Quiet. Honest. For the first time in years. After she drove off, I stayed on the porch a while. Just stood there, letting the quiet settle in. It wasn't triumph I felt. No victory parade in my chest. It was something simpler. Cleaner. Peace. Not the pretend kind. Not the "we're smiling for the neighbors" kind. The real kind, earned peace. Inside, I sat at the kitchen table and opened my laptop. Time for phase 2. First, I called the bank. Had the mortgage shifted fully into my name. No more shared liability. No more surprises. Then I rang up my lawyer. A real shark, the kind of guy who charges you just for spelling your own name on a form but gets results. He'd already drawn up the divorce papers. Now we were ready to file. Infidelity? Check. Financial abuse? Check. Emotional abandonment? Triple check. It was a slam dunk. But I wasn't done yet. See, she didn't just cheat on me. She poisoned everything we built. And now, she was going to learn what it felt like to be left in the wreckage. Remember Mike? The guy she hit on without knowing who he was? He had a few friends, old school types who still believed in community and reputation. They didn't need convincing. All it took was the truth. And once they had the facts, the whispers started. By Monday morning, they were everywhere. By Wednesday, they were loud. And by Friday, they were thunder. Turns out, some of the guys she flirted with online weren't just single. Some were married. Some had kids. And their wives. Oh, they didn't take kindly to finding out some woman was out there pretending to be single, stirring trouble, and using fake names. One by one, her social circles started shrinking. Fast. She got booted from 3 women's clubs she used to brag about. One of them even mailed her card back, snapped in half. I didn't say a word. Didn't post. Didn't gloat. Didn't need to. The truth, once it gets out, doesn't need a megaphone. It walks into the room and speaks for itself. And while her world shrank, mine finally started to breathe again. I slept without grinding my teeth. Ate meals that didn't taste like stress. Took long walks with no one blowing up my phone. It was like someone had shut off the noise. I even pulled the old motorcycle out of the garage. The one I'd been meaning to fix for years but never got around to, too busy playing the part of the reliable husband, the provider, the man always one shift away from collapsing. Every turn of the wrench felt like healing. My hands got greasy, my knuckles bled, but my heart felt light. And then came the final play. We still had that dating profile, the one she fell for. The one my buddy created. It wasn't deleted yet. He kept it going. Fed her just enough to keep her hoping. Told her he wanted to meet again. Said he was serious this time. Wanted to start fresh, a real connection. She bought it. Hook, line, and lifeboat. She picked the dress. Did her hair. Probably used her last good perfume sample. She was ready to reel in the next sucker. But the date wasn't some candlelit restaurant. It was a local dive bar. The kind of place where everyone knows everyone. Where people still play darts and celebrate birthdays with neon lights and cheap beer. It also happened to be the watering hole for a few of the women she'd wronged. The perfect stage. The night of the big date, she showed up looking like she'd stepped out of a magazine. Hair curled. New dress. High heels. The works. She looked excited, like someone who still thought she had cards to play. But when she walked in, it wasn't into the arms of a charming new man. It was into a room full of silence. Cold stares. People shifting away from her as if her perfume smelled like betrayal. She sat at the bar. Ordered a drink. Waited. But no one came. No flirty message. No mysterious stranger. Just the murmur of conversations that stopped when she looked up, and resumed when she looked away. And then she noticed them. 3 women at the corner table. One she'd messaged a husband of. One who used to be her friend. And one who'd warned her years ago, back when there was still time to change. They didn't shout. They didn't curse. They just watched her with that kind of look women reserve for someone who's finally unmasked. She lasted maybe 20 minutes. Then she bolted. Left half a drink behind. Walked fast, heels tapping hard across the wood floor, chin lifted in defiance, but her eyes said everything. My friends were there. They saw it. Sent pictures. I didn't gloat. Didn't text her. Didn't say, told you so. I just sat on my porch that night, cold beer in hand, dog at my feet, watching the stars blink through the dark. There was no rage. No vindication. Just stillness. Because the best revenge? It's not yelling in someone's face. It's not smashing windows or burning bridges. It's letting them face the mirror, the real one. The one they've avoided for years. And knowing they've got no one left to lie to. The days after that passed like water under a bridge. She didn't reach out. I didn't either. Didn't need to. The damage was done. The chapter closed. No sequel needed. I kept rebuilding. My life. My routines. My habits. Started taking Tank, my dog, the big goof I'd rescued, on longer hikes. He didn't care about the drama. Didn't ask questions. Just barreled through the forest like he owned it, tongue out, tail wagging, teaching me more about peace than any therapist ever could. I finished restoring the motorcycle too. Painted it black, with silver trim. It roared to life like it never wanted to be still again. And that felt right. I started sleeping with both eyes closed. Woke up without dread pooling in my gut. The lies were gone. The weight was gone. And slowly, something else crept in, something I hadn't felt in years. Hope. It didn't show up all at once. Just flickers. Like sparks in a dying fire that suddenly catch. I saw it in the mirror when the man staring back didn't look broken anymore. I heard it in my laugh when Mike told a dumb joke at the bar. I felt it in the wind when I rode down an open road with no destination, just motion. For the first time in what felt like forever, I wasn't surviving. I was living. About a year had passed since everything went down. A full year of building something new, one day, one scar, one breath at a time. I wasn't looking back anymore. Wasn't angry. Wasn't searching for closure. I'd found it. And just when I thought life had finally gone quiet, it tossed me one last curveball. It was a Saturday. Tank and I had just finished a long hike in the hills outside town. Dust on our boots, sweat on our backs, smiles on our faces. We were both in that perfect kind of tired where everything feels earned. We stopped at the gas station. I grabbed a cold drink and leaned against my truck, soaking in the hum of small-town life. That's when I saw her. At first, I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me, like maybe the sun was too bright or I was just dehydrated. But no. It was her. Standing by the pump, fiddling with a credit card that clearly wasn't working. Same hair. Same stance. But everything else? Different. She looked worn. Like life had been gnawing at her edges. Makeup couldn't hide it. New clothes couldn't mask it. There was a heaviness to her, the kind that doesn't come from weight, but from the weight of choices. Gone was the woman who used to tilt her chin up like she was above the world. This version. She was searching for a foothold. She hadn't seen me yet. Too busy cursing under her breath and smacking the card reader like it owed her money. And for a second, just a second, I felt something almost like pity. Almost. Then I remembered every lie, every lonely night. Every shift I worked while she played pretend. The pity evaporated like gasoline on asphalt. And then she looked up. Saw me. Everything in her froze. Her face went blank, then registered who I was. Eyes wide. Mouth parted slightly. That universal look of oh no. Not you. I didn't wave. Didn't smile. Didn't frown. I just stared, calm and unmoved, like I was looking at someone I barely remembered. Because in truth, that's exactly what she was. A stranger with my old last name. She looked like she wanted to say something. Some half-baked apology. Some, how have you been? That's when Tank barked from the passenger seat. Loud and deep, like a cannon blast. She jumped back like someone slapped her. Perfect timing, buddy. I took one last sip of water, tossed the bottle into the truck bed, and climbed into the cab. Didn't say a word. Didn't even glance in the mirror. Just started the engine and pulled away. No hate. No gloating. No second chances. Just a man, his dog, and an open road. And you know what I felt as we drove off, wind pouring in, the sunset laying gold across the dashboard? Peace. The kind that doesn't need to prove anything. The kind that just is. I didn't feel like I'd won something. I felt like I'd let go of something I never should have been holding in the first place. After that, things finally settled. Life slowed down, but not in the painful way it once had. This time, it felt like taking a breath after holding it too long. No pretending. No performing. Just living. I sold the old house. Yeah, it hurt a little, those walls had seen both the best and worst of me. But I didn't want to live in a museum of lies anymore. Found a small place outside of town. Nothing flashy. Just enough land to breathe. A couple acres where you could hear the wind move through the trees and not much else. Peace had a sound, and I was finally starting to recognize it. Tank settled in right away. Big dumb mutt, he'd chase squirrels, roll in mud, and sleep like a rock at my feet every night. No judgment. No demands. Just loyalty. I named him Tank because, well, he moves like one. Crashes through everything like he owns the place. But he's got a soft heart under that tough frame. Reminded me of someone I used to be. And then there was the motorcycle. That machine saved me. Not literally, of course, but in the way that a man saves himself with sweat and focus. Every greasy bolt I turned, every scuffed knuckle, every hour spent rebuilding what I'd neglected for too long, it pulled something broken out of me and replaced it with steel. Black paint. Chrome lines. A new engine that roared like it had something to prove. And when I took it out on the open road, wind clawing at my jacket, sun dipping low on the horizon, I smiled. Not the forced smile I used to wear when I was dying inside. A real one. I started seeing old friends again. Guys I'd drifted from while playing the role of the good husband. They welcomed me back without questions. No judgment, no pity. Just a cold beer and a warm fire. I even started dating again, slowly, carefully. If something didn't feel right, I didn't try to force it. If I saw a red flag, I didn't paint it white. I wasn't afraid to be alone anymore. Because being alone with peace beats being together in poison. And then one day, standing in front of my bathroom mirror, I realized something. I liked the man staring back. He looked older, sure. A little more tired. But stronger. Cleaner. Sharper. Not bitter. Just, refined by fire. And I thought to myself, you made it. Not just through the betrayal. Through the war of coming home to something worse than combat. And you didn't come out destroyed. You came out alive. Maybe even more than before. The old me, the one who believed love could fix anything, that loyalty meant you stayed even when it hurt, he didn't survive. He died back there, somewhere between the battlefield and the bedroom. But the man who came out the other side, he's still standing. He's not perfect. Not invincible. But he's real. And more than anything, he's free. I learned some things in that wreckage. Things I wish I'd known earlier, but maybe you only truly learn them the hard way. Like this. Love without respect is a slow death. You can give someone your heart, your time, your everything, but if they don't respect you, it all turns to dust. You can't save someone who doesn't want to be saved. You'll just drown trying. Trust, once broken, doesn't heal right. It's like a bone that sets crooked. Sure, it holds. But every step reminds you that something once shattered. And maybe the biggest one. Pain isn't the enemy. Comfort is. Pain makes you move. Grow. Change. Comfort lets you rot. Lets you pretend. Lets you die slowly in silence. There were nights I stared at the ceiling, wondering what the hell I did wrong. What I could have done differently. What I failed to see. But here's the truth. Some people will set fire to everything you built just to watch you run. The trick? Don't run. Let it burn. Let them light the match. Then walk away. Build again. Better. Stronger. Cleaner. These days, life looks different. It starts early. With the smell of fresh coffee. Tank chasing squirrels like they owe him money. The sun cutting through the trees like gold. I work hard. Sleep harder. I ride the bike whenever I can, the wind ripping through everything that used to weigh me down. I don't chase ghosts anymore. I don't check my phone hoping for closure. I don't apologize for wanting peace. And if love ever finds me again, she'll have to meet me where I am, not drag me back to where I've been. People ask sometimes if I ever hear from her. The answer's simple. No. And even simpler. I don't care. Because healing isn't about pretending the pain didn't happen. It's about accepting that it did, and deciding it won't define you. Because sometimes, life doesn't give you a second chance by fixing what's broken. It gives it to you by ripping it away, so you can finally start fresh. Start real. Start with eyes wide open. What I have now. It's not flashy. Not loud. But it's mine. It's honest. I've got a job that pays the bills. A porch that catches the sunset just right. A dog that doesn't care who I used to be, only that I'm here now, throwing the damn ball. I take things slower these days. I savor the mornings. The stillness. The quiet victories. A warm meal cooked with my own hands. A ride down a back road with no destination. The laugh of an old friend who never left. And when I catch myself smiling, really smiling, not the hollow kind I wore for years, I know I earned this. Every scratch. Every scar. Every hard-earned breath. I'm not haunted anymore. Not by her voice. Not by the lies. Not by the question what if. Because the truth is, she didn't break me. She freed me. I used to think surviving meant just getting through the day. Now I know different. Surviving is just step one. Thriving, that's the goal. That's waking up every day with purpose, not pain. That's learning to love your own damn company. That's building a life so full, so solid, that no one else gets to define it for you. I'm not afraid of scars anymore. Because the right ones. The ones you earn. They remind you that you healed. So if you're listening to this, if you're stuck in something that feels like it's swallowing you whole, know this. You can walk out. You can start over. You can rebuild. And you'll be stronger for it. Because you don't need their permission to take your life back. You just need the courage to take the first step. And once you do, the world opens up. One quiet, honest morning at a time.